This is the Eye on Annapolis Daily News Brief, keeping you informed about the happenings in Annapolis and the area. Local news, local sports, local events, local opinion, and of course, local weather. The Eye on Annapolis Daily News Brief starts now.
Good morning. It's Friday, December 6th, 2019. This is John Frenaye, and this is your Eye on Annapolis Daily News Brief. Follow along with me in this horrible story out of North County. Back on July 27th at about 9:30 in the morning, the county police and fire departments went to the 7900 block of Chesapeake Drive for a 9-month-old male infant who was in medical distress. The infant, who's identified as Nair Taylor, was taken to Baltimore Washington Medical Center and pronounced dead less than an hour later. Preliminary reports from his 17-year-old mother as well as her mother said that he had been wheezing while breathing but had gone to bed at 2 a.m. At approximately 9:15, the mother and the grandmother, who were co-sleeping with the infant, found the baby unresponsive and called 911. After an autopsy, the Office of the Chief Medical Examiner said that fentanyl, morphine, and heroin were present in the infant's blood, liver, and stomach contents, and the death was declared a homicide. 2 weeks later, on August 14th, the police executed a search warrant of the house, and they found hundreds of empty capsules with trace powdery substances located in every room throughout the entire house. There were over 100 gel caps that were recovered from the floor, the infant's diaper bag, and various other areas within the residence. Those capsules did test positive for both heroin and fentanyl. A little bit more investigation, and they learned that the grandmother, who is identified as Lori Ann Taylor, 43, drove her 2 daughters and baby Nair to Baltimore City to purchase heroin on Friday, July 26th. They purchased 4 heroin capsules to share them with each other, and when they got home, they found that one was missing. They looked for it, they couldn't find it. The grandmother took her 17-year-old daughter, the mother of the infant, back to Baltimore City to purchase additional heroin. When they returned to the home at 1 a.m. on the morning of July 27th, they noticed that the infant was breathing oddly, and they decided to take a, quote, wait-and-see approach. And within hours, baby Nair was unresponsive. Yesterday, the Anne Arundel County Police did arrest both of them without incident at their residence. The mother of the baby, Alexis Taylor, 17, was charged as an adult with first-degree child abuse resulting in death, second-degree child abuse, manslaughter, and reckless endangerment. And Lori Taylor, 43, the grandmother, was charged with the same charges in regard to the homicide, as well as reckless endangerment in regards to her own child, Alexis Taylor. Both are currently being held without bond at the Jennifer Road Detention Facility, and that story just kind of makes my stomach turn. In other heroin news, Anne Arundel County State's Attorney Ann Colt Lightus announced that Christopher Dillahunt of Queenstown has been sentenced to 21 years in prison for 1 count of negligent manslaughter in the death of Laurel Zeiler and 2 counts of second-degree assault for 2 surviving victims of a car accident. Back in March of 18, Dillahunt was driving his Ford Taurus with a passenger eastbound on Route 50 when he exited onto Bush's Frontage Road. He was traveling at more than 70 miles per hour in a 40-mile-per-hour zone across the double yellow line. When he was traveling eastbound in the westbound lane, he struck a Toyota Camry driven by the victim, Laura Zeiler, head-on. And after colliding with that vehicle, Dillahunt's vehicle rotated counterclockwise, striking an oncoming Ford F-150 pickup truck. The driver of the Camry was transported to shock trauma and passed away, and the driver of the pickup truck has sustained life-altering injuries. During the investigation, the Anne Arundel County Police learned that prior to the crash, Dillahunt and his passenger had been using heroin, and when medical personnel arrived on the scene of the accident, they administered 2 doses of Narcan, which is used to counter the effects of opioid overdoses, to Dillahunt because he was unconscious and not breathing. He pled guilty to the charges on August 29th, and he will be cooling his heels for the next 21 years. Let's get into something a little bit better and a little bit more uplifting. Let's talk about Navy football. They are getting ready to take on Army on December 14th up in Philadelphia, and they just unveiled their uniforms for this year's game. This year it's going to be a throwback uniform, and it will be thrown back to the era of the 1960s. Under Armour and Navy joined forces to create a uniform that channels the greatness of Navy's past legends of that decade, and of course we're talking about Jim Bellino and Roger Staubach. These 2 Navy football greats of the 60s and their Heisman-winning ways are honored in the uniform. It's got a navy blue base with the golden shoulder stripes. However, the helmet is what really sets it apart to me. It's got a burnished bronze paint wraps around the helmet. It has the iconic anchor logo that's underneath, and the 2 Heisman Trophy winner uniform numbers are front and center on the forehead, if you will, of the helmet. Head on over to eyeonannapolis.net and check that out because we've got all the pictures of them there. They do look pretty sharp to me. And in great news, I saw this on Facebook yesterday, so it must be true. The wait is over. We will be opening our our doors tonight at 5:30 p.m. for dinner. Normal hours thereafter. Thank you, everyone, for your patience, and we can't wait to share our vision with everyone. And that message comes from Julep Southern Kitchen and Bar, which takes over the old Bertucci's restaurant, which is next to Outback Steakhouse on Old Forest Drive. So that is great news. I can't wait to try that out. And that does it for the news today. Please make sure you're checking out eyeonannapolis.net throughout the day because we do update it throughout the day. It is Friday. We do have a list of things that you may want to consider doing for this weekend, and this one is a real holiday-themed list for you to consider. If you are someplace that you can give us a recommendation or a review, please do that. That would be a wonderful Christmas present to us. Other than that, hang tight. We've got your list of things to consider for the weekend, and George Young with your local DMV weather forecast coming up in just 1 minute.
Here's to the teacher who spends her weekend helping children who need a little extra attention. To the soldier who missed the birth of his baby while serving overseas. To the EMT working full-time and taking night classes. To the police officers and firefighters working long hours away from their families to keep our families safe. Here's to you, our hometown heroes. I'm Alan Hyatt, Chairman and President of Severn Bank, and we know there are many heroes among us. Men and women who serve without expecting anything in return. Which is why we're honored to offer our Hometown Heroes program to educators, law enforcement officers, firefighters, first responders, healthcare workers, and military personnel. Whether you're opening a checking account or buying a new home, we're here to give back to you. Learn more about our Hometown Heroes program at severnbank.com. Severn Bank, here with you.
Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender.
Going out? You need the most up-to-date local weather. Here's George Young from DMV Weather in Annapolis with today's forecast.
Hey everyone, this is George with DMV Weather, and this is your Eye on Annapolis forecast for Friday, December 6th. Yesterday was fairly nice, but still a bit chilly with those breezy winds across the Annapolis region. But those winds won't be quite as much a factor today. And with mixed skies and temps climbing into the 50s, it'll be a fairly nice end to the first full work week in December. As for the weekend ahead, expect plenty of sun both Saturday and Sunday, but temperatures will be cool again Saturday with highs only in the low to mid-40s before bouncing back just a little bit on Sunday with temps again 46 to 52 for highs. From there, the expectation is for 50s and maybe even some 60s for the first half of next week, but those warmer temps will likely also be accompanied by a fair amount of rain from Monday through Wednesday, so get the umbrella ready for more action next week. And finally, the early outlook for next Saturday's Army-Navy football game at 3 p.m. in Philadelphia is for some potential storminess that could bring rain or even a rain-snow mix, but still too early to tell with any real confidence, so more on that next week as we get a little closer to the big game. Okay, that's it for today. This is George Young of DMV Weather. Make it a great weekend out there, and be sure to get our free app on all of your devices by searching for DCMDVA Weather in the Apple or Google App Stores, and also follow us on Facebook and Twitter and on our website at dmvweather.com. so you can always stay weather informed.
Have you ever been to the Annapolis Mall when it opens for the day? Maybe you've noticed the line of folks waiting to get into the Apple Store. As you may know, I'm a Mac user, and today's episode of the Daily News Brief, in fact, all of the episodes of the Daily News Brief have been produced right here on my Mac computer. What you might not know about is Macmedics. They were founded here in Annapolis in 1989, and they are an Apple-authorized premium service provider, the only one in the Baltimore-Annapolis, D.C. area. And what that means to you is that they repair all Apple devices, including the iPhone screens and batteries, all without an appointment. And most repairs are done the same day, usually within 2 hours. They also sell everything except the iPhone and the watch for the same price as Apple. I don't know why you would go anywhere else. Give them a call at 410-757-MACS, or if you're not into the whole letter thing, 410-757-6227. Stop by their retail store in Severna Park on Benfield Road, or their service center in Lanham, right off of Route 50. Or you can always check them out online at macmedics.com. I'll tell you, they've saved me quite a few times, and I know they can save you.
Every weekend, there's something exciting going on in the Annapolis area. Be sure to visit eyeonannapolis.net to sign up for a newsletter highlighting all the weekend events. Here are our top picks for this weekend.
Ho, ho, ho. Lots of stuff going on for the holidays. I hope you enjoyed Midnight Madness yesterday. It will happen again next Thursday and the next Thursday. So make sure you get out there, shop local, support local, and have fun. Hey, tonight, the Petite Illumination at Eastport. Now, this is the fun Christmas tree lighting, and the real Christmas tree lighting didn't happen last week because of the weather, but this gets underway tonight at 5 p.m., right there at the corner of 6th and 7th, which is at the Shell Station. There's a little tiny Christmas tree there. People are invited to come out of all ages. You can make your ornaments right there. You can bring ornaments to decorate. You can bring your beverages. They will have baked goods. It is a great neighborhood event. Eastport's Petite Illumination as opposed to Annapolis's Grand Illumination. If you get a chance to get up to Homestead Gardens this weekend, today, tomorrow, and Sunday, the Rotary Club of South Anne Arundel County is holding their 4th annual Lights of Kindness event. And what this does is this benefits local charities. You go in and there are trees decorated by businesses for the holidays. You go in and you vote for which tree you want. Your vote costs $1, so you put $1 into the little tub for the tree that you think is the best decorated. Or maybe you want to turn around and vote for the charity that you like the best. Either way, at the end, 50% of the money will go to the charity of the top 3 winners, and the rest will go to the Rotary Foundation, which does help tons of students and tons of people here in the county. It's happening at Homestead Gardens this weekend, tonight, tomorrow, and Sunday. Admission to get in and see the trees is free. It will cost you to vote. They're open till 8 p.m. today and tomorrow and 4 p.m. on Sunday, and you can actually vote online. If you wanted to go to RotaryLightsOfKindness.org, you are able to vote online, and that online voting does end on December 9th. Over in West Annapolis, this weekend and next weekend, so Saturday and Sunday on Giddings Avenue, it is their Winterfest and European Christmas Market. This is going to be fantastic. I can't wait to get over there and see what it's all about. They're going to have 40 different vendors, each in their own little winter hut, if you will. A lot of the merchants that are in West Annapolis are going to be there. You're going to have Flamand out there making crepes and cheesy platters. Homestead Gardens is going to have a sub-store there selling Christmas trees, wreaths, decorations, and more. Art things will be there. There'll be lots of food. You Pretty Dog will be there for your dog lovers. Calvert Kettle Corn. It'll be a really great time in West Annapolis. And as I've said for probably the last 3 or 4 months, West Annapolis has really come into their own in the last year or so. They're doing a hell of a job. Down in South County, it's the Muddy Creek Artists Guild Annual Holiday Art Show and Sale. That happens this weekend and next weekend. It's at the Main Street South River Colony, which is behind the Kmart Shopping Center at 179 Mitchell's Chance Road in Edgewater. They've got 40 local South County artists. Everything from jewelry to photography, watercolors, stained glass, mixed media, pastel, wood and oil and acrylic painting, ceramics, batik, you name it. 10 a.m. to 7 p.m., December 6th through 8th, and December 13th through the 15th. Tomorrow evening from 4 to 8 p.m. at the Annapolis Towne Centre, you have the Fire and Ice Festival. This is the first time they've ever done something like this, and this sounds really very cool. They're going to have music. They're going to have a themed light show, ice sculptures, live ice sculpting, fire pits, and s'mores. And who can resist s'mores? Let's be real about it. An LED hoop troop, and I'm not sure what that is, but that sounds pretty cool. Hot chocolate, snowflake, ornament decorating, family photos featuring an ice throne, cocktail and beer garden, always a lot of fun, food trucks, and, of course, Christmas carolers, and Santa Claus is right down the road there in his cottage. And if you didn't catch the Maryland Crabs episode that we released yesterday at noon about what's going on at the Annapolis Towne Centre, we've got a special bonus, sort of a duplication of that one coming to you at noon today, right here on the Eye on Annapolis podcast. So check out whatever podcatcher you've got there and give that a listen a little bit later on today. Again, tomorrow from 10 to 2 p.m. down at Anne Arundel County Station 8. And for those of you that don't know where Station 8 is, that's the one on the corner of Bay Ridge and Arundel on the Bay. It is the fairly new fire station next to the Ebb Tide, which sadly is going to be closing at the end of the month. But I digress. This is the SoFo HoHo. This is the South of Forest Drive Business Association is hosting a toy drive. They're going to have Santa Claus there. So if you can bring an unwrapped toy for a needy child in our community, you can get your picture with Santa Claus on a fire truck. Great organization, great time, great causes. It goes from 10 till 2. And SoFo is another organization that really seems to have been doing a whole lot of great stuff lately, too. Friday, Saturday, and Sunday this week, next week, and the following week, the Jolly Express will be cruising the waters of Spa Creek in Annapolis Harbor. And the Jolly Express is actually the Miss Anne, which is the watermark boat that goes up and down the creeks during the summer. But now it kind of looks like Rudolph. It's got antlers and a big red nose on its bow. They've got a crew that's going to serve you hot cocoa, give you blankets to keep you warm, and it will be a evening boat ride at 8 p.m., about 45 minutes up and down the creek so you can see all the Christmas lights from the water. And what's really cool about this is Watermark's such a great community-focused business. They are donating a portion of the proceeds to historic Annapolis. And finally, looking forward into Thursday of next week, that would be December 12th, you've got a grab-and-go lunch fundraiser at the Bay Village. Now, Bay Village is the newest memory care senior facility that is going to open up in a couple months, I think, located right behind the Starbucks on Bay Ridge Road. What the deal is you go in, you give them $8, and you get a sandwich, you get a bowl of soup, a cookie, and a drink. You can eat it there, check things out, or take it and go. But all of that is going to be donated to seniors in need right here in our community. And that's working with the Maryland Department of Aging. Again, what a great neighbor. And they're not even really a neighbor yet. They're still building. Definitely put that down for your lunch date on Thursday the 12th. Their sales center is located just to the right of the Starbucks. It's got its own separate little parking lot across the street from the Giant there. All right, that does it for the weekend. Choose wisely. Have fun. Be safe. We'll see you on Monday.
When a ring from the United States Naval Academy comes into Zachary's for a center stone, it always makes us wonder, where's this one going? Where's this one been? A nuclear sub in the North Atlantic? A carrier deck in the South Pacific? The moon? 52 astronauts are Academy graduates, from Iwo Jima to Okinawa, Corregidor to the Coral Sea, Midway to the Persian Gulf, Congress to the White House. These rings go where America goes. 73 that went to war were awarded the Medal of Honor. But wherever they go, wherever they may serve, our admiration goes with them.
Zachary's. Online at zacharysjewelers.com. More than a jewelry store, a jeweler.
You've been listening to the Eye on Annapolis Daily News Brief. Tell your friends and colleagues this is the podcast where you can keep up on the latest with what's going on in Annapolis. And also tell them about our website, eyeonannapolis.net, where you can find even more information. This podcast comes to you every Monday through Friday at 7 a.m., keeping you informed with the Eye on Annapolis Daily News Brief. And take a moment to listen to our other podcast, The Maryland Crabs, released every Thursday at noon.